if we want to fight crime, we got to start by the crime at the top, which is the people that are making billions and stocking it away without paying living wages to their workers, and the people that are buying off politicians so that we can't have health care, but we come up with bombs and other military spending for them to make money off of or whatever. Like Elon Musk, who, uh, why does he want to support Trump? Because Tesla's got no chance against Chinese competition. But if Trump comes in with his tariffs and stuff like that, that's fine. Oh, and Trump's not for electric. He's not going to shut down Tesla. He's just going to take away incentives and stuff that might help competitors compete. So that's also good for Elon. So yeah, even when you see Elon supporting Trump, it's not you're there's no counter narrative there. It's all a win-win for Elon. It's all he will get back billions for the millions he's spending on helping to elect Trump. But again, and get down to common people and our problems and stuff. And I'm in a struggle, but the source of my struggle isn't from a failure to work or somehow break through the system. I managed to do that, but I was married to a very toxic woman who I didn't realize was so toxic. And then the second wife wasn't any better. Um, and why were they toxic? Because they were greedy. Really, they're lazy and greedy. And the bottom line is though, they're also very selfish. If they could have been making living wages from fast food or whatever, they would have never wanted to get married to begin with. It's that they couldn't make living wages, so they had to find a way forward, and they did that through manipulation, and I was the victim. But that's the thing. There's a lot of people whose problems in their lives are primarily from toxic people, but people that are being victimized by corporate slavery are more likely to be toxic when they're otherwise, like I said, they're likely so selfish that if they could just make a living wage, they'd rather go spend that on themselves. It's the fact that they can't even make a living wage that we all have to find some way forward. If you just simply go and work an honest day's work, you're going to get fucked over. You've got to find some kind of special way to get ahead in this, and then even then, it's just barely ahead in most cases. And the trade-off is usually not worth it. I mean, people, you know, I don't see people living long in retirement these days, or they don't have much to show for it because by the time they get to retirement, their health is what all their, if they have retirement savings, it goes towards paying their medical bills. So, and then the same thing with housing. While I oppose Donald Trump fully, Harris talking about, giving money or making fun, whatever, her thing to help people get houses. That's that is a very expensive band-aid that's only going to exacerbate the problem, which the real problem is greed. It is people buying up houses and homes for investments. I mean, they're literally on the prowl. Have you heard the latest scheme that's being advertised on talk radio where you can sell your home while the market's good, and then they'll give you a lease offer so you can stay in it. So you can sell it, collect all your equity, and then you just pay a lease. People are going to get so screwed on that too. It's like it's not like that's how desperate and greedy these investment companies are. They've bought up trailer parks because that's a captive audience. People own their homes, but they don't have the money to move them. So when you raise their rent, they either come up with it or they get evicted and lose everything. So you put them up against dire straits, and so these people have bought these trailer parks for next to nothing because they're on a lot of times they're on land that's not worth much, but then they just go in and ruthlessly raise these rates on these people that can't do nothing about it. It's something that people with dignity don't do. That's why the people that already own those things had reasonable rents for the circumstances. It's these companies, investments firms buying it in, and a person, it's all detached. So, yeah, Harris's plan's not going to solve the housing, but Trump and the whole MAGA movement is just exasperating. That movement is there to exasperate the problem because it's these people, we don't have any billionaires that are legitimate billionaires that earn their money honestly and deserve what they've got. Nobody deserves that much. Nobody needs that much. It's all about power and control. And then they don't even have it. It's mostly in the valuation of their companies, which is the only way they get it is for someone else to lose it, even then. So they don't cash out. But what they're gaining is control. They do have the ability to come up with large sums of cash if they need it, and they're not hurting for money, but they're not truly billionaires And you could never get that money in cold hard cash. You would kill the company. You'd kill the goose that's laying those golden eggs. But I digress, though. What those companies, why those stocks go up and all that, and the shareholder value they're always creating and stuff like that, that's because of the 401k scam, which gives you, the rich people, your money to take in their investment schemes. And there's but then the creating shareholder value, which is done through cutthroat profit creation, which is done by paying as little for wages as possible. And so these things are carrying on. And the fact that people don't want to support equality stuff, all your problems could be traced back not to some fictional left-wing agenda. It's just straight up fictional. It's just fiction. There's like literally, if you have an open mind and you're not biased and you're not letting talk radio tell you what's going on in the world, there's literally no conspiracy by the left wing to do anything but fight for freedoms. The politicians are probably still crumbing at the top or whatever, but ultimately they're trying to win your vote by offering you stuff to actually do things for you, to actually work for you. That's it. That's the end of the conspiracy. And guess what? If they successfully work for you, guess who they don't work for? Corporate America. And guess what? To afford these things, guess what would actually eventually have to happen? The rich people are going to have to pay some taxes off of that money that they hoard away. They don't want to do that. So that's your radical left wing. It is a fiction created by the rich and paid for by their propaganda channel, Fox News. But when it comes down to the things that actually bother you, it's probably, for most of us, we're not actually seeing direct impacts from illegal immigrants being here. Maybe we're annoyed by it. I know I lived at a apartment complex that was great when I moved in, and then it sucked because it got overrun by illegals. Now, they weren't causing me any problems, but I went from just having, but there were so many of them hanging around, and so you just have a bunch of eyes on you and stuff. So that was a personal encounter with illegal immigration that I didn't appreciate, but I didn't have any trouble with the actual people. They're not all criminals and all thugs. In fact, there's no more higher proportion of that with them than anybody else. But anyways, no. But my thing has been toxic people and fake people and stuff like that. Well, they're all those people, all of them, are all about MAGA. They absolutely all are, because MAGA is what they are. That MAGA is them. It is a fake movement for fake people to continue being fake. And when you set fake standards and you hit a mark, so they just MAGA makes it easier for the fake people to say the right things and get credit for it. And no one's going to actually do anything. And then as far as the people losing freedoms, the only people that are going to lose freedoms are authentic people that don't want to live a double life. But anyways, but again, greed and pride of life and all that is there. But if you could have respect, if you could get a living wage and have self-respect, work at anything, trust me, a lot of these people that are straight up toxic, a lot of these people resorting to theft, a lot of these people dying from fentanyl because they're trying to cope with being so miserable, a lot more people would actually find contentment just by working a job and minding their own business. So if you want to make America great, truly, you need to oppose MAGA and support living wages and healthcare as a right, as a starting point. And as a single dad, I can tell you too, if you want to oppose abortion, do something about the lack of child care. Do something about what it takes to afford children. Republicans are fake in that regard. They don't give a fuck about kids. And it's proven by the fact that the only thing they oppose is abortion. But anything else that's killing kids, they're all for. Guns? Nah, we're not. We don't want to harm someone's right to stockpile AR-15s. Occasionally a classroom of kids has to die, but that's okay. It happens. This is America. That's MAGA. All right. I'm out, guys. Vigil 6. Have a good day.